So I have one of my deck boards sitting up on top here because I want this measurement to be as accurate as possible. So I just leveled over from the deck board down to this concrete base. I got my number, so we can go inside and finish up this math. 33 1/4 inches. That is our finished floor to finished floor height. And that's the key dimension that you need to work with. 33 1/4 inches divided by 7 inches. 7 inches is our not to exceed riser height in this case. So that equals 4 3/4 riser, but you can't have a fraction of a riser, you need whole risers. We're going to round that up to 5 risers. So now we're going to take that number and we're going to do this again, 33 1/4 inches. This time we're going to divide it by 5 because we want 5 evenly spaced risers. And that's going to come out to 6 5/8 of an inch as our riser height. Now I'm going to be using trim boards on the risers. As long as you use the same trim board at every riser, this finish to finish distance is going to remain 11 inches on this tread. Now if you want your tread to have an overhang, you may need to consider that when you do these calculations. If you want a 1-inch overhang here, for instance, you might not want an 11-inch tread. You might want to reduce that to a 10-inch tread. So with the 1-inch overhang, you end up at 11 inches. When I go to actually cut these stringers, there's going to be some additional things you need to do to this. For instance, you need to cut the bottom of this stringer the thickness of your tread. And that's called dropping the stringer. The reason that you need to do that is if you had, let's just say, a 6-inch riser, 6-inch riser, 6-inch riser, and you add a tread, add a tread, add a tread, at the bottom, you don't have 6 inches anymore. Now you have 7 inches because you had a 6-inch riser. You added 1 inch of material for your tread, now you have 7 inches. However, on the next step, you added to both, so you still have a 6-inch difference there. In other words, your first step's going to be 7 inches, then you're going to have 6, 6, 6, 6, and when you get to the very top, now you're going to have a 5-inch riser. You need to drop the whole stringer so that you have equal distance the whole way down. So that's called dropping the stringer. You take the thickness of one tread off the bottom of the stringer. Now there's something else I'm going to do to the bottom of the stringer too, because this is an exterior set of stairs on this deck. I'm going to show that later. But for now, that's a very rough overview of how you can cut your own stringer and how you make your calculations to get there.